Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, across the country, around the world. Welcome back to the Kerbal Space Program. This is going to be episode 9? 8 or 9. I've lost track at this point. But I actually spent a couple hours playing off camera. I have actually sent about 6 or 8 satellite missions up now. And I've also adjusted a bunch of those too, because that's a mission. Oh, see, like there's one. Oh yeah, I still have 2 more to do. Oh, nice, high polar orbit. That's cool. Yeah, so I have 2 that I think I've accepted, but that's not what we're going to do today. But yeah, I've lobbed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there were about 8 that I did off camera, and then after I do every one, you check, and there are some you can adjust, even slightly adjust, and it gets you money for putting it into a, quote, adjusted orbit. It's great. Those, not procedural. They're kind of procedural. They're contextual missions. Anyway, the mission we're going to take care of today, though, we've actually had for a bit, is... No, I have satellites for the moon, Minmus and Minmus. Oh, those have been proposed. Anyway, I have the Kerbin-powered landing. Remote-powered landing near the black monolith. Has to be a probe. Can I have any parachutes of any kind? Can have any aerodynamic stuff. Must get above 500 meters on Kerbin. And it must land within 40 meters of the black monolith. So the recommendation is to make it small and light. So we're going to give this a try. I haven't done this before, and I saw what Quill18 do this. I think he did okay with his probe. Later on, when he does it with the manned mission, it didn't go so well. Poor Jebediah for him. I don't intend to have that happen to me. Alright, so we'll start with the SETI probe stack, and this is going to be really small and simple. We're going to use the... Huh. Because you're liquid fuel, right? Oh, but you're not. Liquid fuel, oxygen. Oh. Yeah, we're going to go with this guy. And let's see, if we do something like the Pomeranian, something tiny, what does that give us? Not enough surface level thrust. What if we add a couple of spiders on the side, though? What does that get us? Oh, yes, just enough. It'll burn for 50 seconds. So the thing is to get this up to 50 meters, or I'm sorry, 500 meters, and also bounce across that away to the black monolith, which is over there. So that's good there. What if, out of curiosity, if we were to do 3 of these, what does that do? What about if we do 4? What's that? Ooh, that's actually better. I don't want the Pomeranian then. Go away. So that's a thing. And do these guys swivel? Gimbaling. They do. They gimbal 10 degrees. Awesome. So that'll give us a lot of control. It might be a little hairy, but it'll give us a lot of control. The other thing we need are landing legs. Ooh, we don't really have much aside from these guys, but that's okay. They should be enough. Retracted? Actually, you know what? We're going to extend them. We're going to leave them extended. So this is going to be our little spidery thing that we're going to try to send up and down over to the monolith. We're actually going to call this Mono Hopper Arc 1. And we'll see if we can do this. We should be able to. I think I'll be able to. I mean, it burns for a long time. There's lots of delta V, decent surface level thrust and thrust to weight. So let's give this a try. Whew. This, in theory, is to get you practiced with powered landings. Granted, Kerbin's gravity is heavier than Moon or Minmus, but this is to get you practiced doing powered landings because that's what you have to do on the Moon or Minmus. So we're going out to the monolith over there. It's over there a ways. We've got quite a jaunt to go. It is to our north. So actually it's going to be like, yeah. But we're kind of flying this visual, a little bit VFR here. So we can give this a try and see what happens. I don't need that. I'll take Delta V just because that's nice to have. Yeah. And let's go all the way to full throttle. T. Yes, so let's give it a go. Oop, shift. Wrong button. Spacebar. Okay, so we do lift. We're going to pull back just a little bit. And, whoa, that was the wrong button. Nope, that way. We want to go just a smidgen to the north. We want to hit 500 meters up. Oh yeah, this should be fairly doable. Yep, we're going to hit 500 meters there. Boop. So let's just thrust this way just a bit. And then we're going to rotate and thrust some more. Yep, we're falling fairly fast. That thing's still way over there. Okay, so let's go just a little bit more this way. Oh yeah, this will be fairly easy because we'll have tons of delta V. Retrograde just to slow us down. Stop, stop, stop. Whoa, that's not really what I wanted. Except it'll follow retrograde once we start. Nope, now it's going to chase retrograde. That's lame. Stop it. Just point up. There we go. Now I think I can manipulate this guy over toward that thing. We're going to drop some thrust, though. Come on. Nope, I don't want to go up. I want to go down. Okay. So I think we're going to get fairly close. I don't know if we'll get within 50 meters or not. But we're going to get fairly close. We're still drifting a little bit, and that's good. Yeah, we went up really high. Shoot. No, 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 no. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I do not have the control I wanted with this. And it's going to crash. Bye-bye. Poop. Alright. So we're going to try that again. Close. And we are going to count that as, yes, as a launch. We're going to go back to the Space Center. In theory, that vessel worked. I think, though... Oh, yes. Okay, I think I'm going to add one thing to it. Yeah, I want to add one thing to it. So let's do that. I want to add another, what's it called? Reaction controls. Reaction control thruster. We don't have actual... Not really, not RCS. No, we want to add a reaction control thruster to the bottom. That should help. And it's still, we still have lots of time and lots of thrust to weight and surface level thrust and whatnot. Except we are, whoa. We can move these guys down to there. There we go. So we're still, yes, we're still going to go up, and that should be just fine. Save. Launch. That'll give us a little more control authority. I mean, the thing's already vector pretty well, but now that'll give us a little more a rotational control over the probe. And hope it works this time. That was a bit squirrelier than I wanted it to be. Okay, T. We'll go full throttle, and away we go. Nope. Wow, that is way more responsive than I thought it would be, which is fine and good. Oh, some parts survived. And they're still spinning. That's interesting. Alright, alright. Let's revert flight. Revert to launch. That was way more responsive than I thought it would be. Those things, the reaction control wheels of that, the reaction control wheels I added, that I barely tapped it and it went all kinds of crazy. You can, what is it? Is it Control Shift? There's something you can press that actually engages aviation. Is it Control Shift? Shift Control? No. Shift is, well, that's throttle stuff. Tab? No, not tab. Anyway, we'll try this, and if I need to, I can go back and find that. Okay, so T, Z, let's go. Go up. Just give it a gentle tap, 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 that way. There we go. This feels a bit better. up just a little higher. We're translating sideways nicely in a decent direction. But I want to go up to that 500 meter mark. Because this should be... There it is. This mission here. Okay, there's 500 meters. So now we're going to try to start dropping. We're just going to reduce power. I'm just going to keep going, like, pointing straight up and down. And then once we get going down, we're just going to point more or less retrograde, I think. Gulp. Okay, we're going down. And we're still moving sideways, so that's decent. Nope, 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 sorry, a little more. We still have a minute left of fuel because we haven't been running at full throttle much. Wow, we are heading right to the monolith though, so that's interesting. Okay, come on, let's go down. We're gonna get fairly close to the monolith, I think. At this point, we're just kind of drifting sideways. We're just kind of changing how fast that we are drifting sideways. Nope, nope, nope. Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Go down, go down, go down. Faster, faster, faster will be better. I don't want to point just straight up retrograde because that's no good either. Okay, so we landed. It was a sideways slide land. We didn't quite land near the thing, so I wonder if we can get back to it. Nope, not that way. I want to go that way. Can I rotate? Ooh, I can rotate. That's fun. That way. You see, can I just power slide across the ground here? A little bit. Whoa. That's a thing. Still not there yet, right? Nope. Wow, that reaction control wheel just gives me all kinds of power. I wonder... Okay, this is stupid looking, but I wonder if it'll let me do it this way. Oh, I broke 2 struts. That count? That counted! So that wasn't quite correct for that mission, because I didn't land. I landed just outside of the 50 meter range. But by rolling into place, it counted as that mission for the SETI contracts. Wow, that's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Alright, so let's recover the vessel and move on. All right, good. So, yeah, nothing. We got some money back, even though we lost a part or two. That's okay. Doing all those satellite missions, I've gotten up pretty high. And I still have like 2 more in there that I could do. Good, so that's that. We finished that one. And I think, I wouldn't be surprised if under SETI there is... No, there it is. Manned Kerbin landing. Oh, I have to do the the orbit. The manned Kerbin orbit. So that's fun. But we have 2 missions first. Minmus and Kerbol. So we're going to do a flyby of Minmus and then escape. As long as we escape Kerbin's sphere of influence, we're technically orbiting Kerbol then. That'll be next episode. And then manned orbit will be an episode after that. That's easy. I've done that tons of times. But actually right now, we're going to jump out of the game. I had a user ask what my mod list was, and usually I do share it at some point. We're in, what, 7 or 8 or 9 episodes now, so I will jump out and show you the mod list. Cutting in here, I'll see you out there at CCAN in just a moment. Alright, so like I said, I had a user request what the mods are. Oh yeah, hi, webcam. And here we are. Here we are at CCAN. I forget what CCAN stands for. Computerized Kerbal. I don't know. It's a way to organize the all the mods, all the assets, all the things. It's how you use it. It's for a long time I actually played putting them in manually, dragging and dropping and expanding and doing all those things, downloading, and it was a little messy because I tried CCAN, didn't get it to work at first, but then I played it again. I'm like, oh, this makes more sense. And once we got to like 1.3, I used CCAN and the computer, everything was happy. Whereas before I had to fight with it more. But with CCAN, everything just slots in place really nicely. Anyway, this is CCAN, so I have it filtered to what I have installed. I have 80 installed. I've run 100 different ones. New in repository? Oh, it's a new other one. There are currently 774 compatible. There's 1,010 that are incompatible. So there's a lot of mods out there. Just a lot of them haven't been updated in a while. If you haven't used CCAN, it's great. I really recommend using it. Let's see. I know it uploaded one earlier. Refresh. I don't think there's anything going to be updated right now in like the last half hour since I started recording that other bit with the probe powered landing and then the slide and roll. Anyway, good. You could launch KSP from here. That's how you want. That's how I do it now because it starts. It just seems happier. Anyway, mod list. I have 80 mods. So I'll try to go through them quickly and talk about what each one is, at least to the best of my knowledge. There's some that are on there that are supplementary for other mods that are backing up other mods. They're not something that I actually use or just haven't used yet or possibly haven't used before. There's probably a good 10 or 15 that are just support mods for other mods. We'll see what those are. So X Science. It is a automated science experiments. Oh no, X Science is one. See, some of these I'm not even sure what they are. A lot of this list I've copied from Quill 18, also from Scott Manley, and then other ones that I've seen that I just like, or that I've found and I like. Some on here I haven't used yet and I might dump later, but this is what I have for now. So this one, what your vehicle records. So this one, it will record science in a more comprehensive way, I guess. Plugins made for Alista. See, so that's one of those support ones. Automated science sampler. Oh, that's what automates the science. B9 part switch. Interesting. It lets you switch things. Again, I think it's a supplementary one. Background resources. So this is other resources besides just, what is it, alloy? No. Whatever the stock resources that you can mine. This is a way to open up for more alloy, more resources like botanium, I forget. There's a bunch of them, and I haven't gotten into that yet, but that's for other resources. Better burn time. This is a tool, very useful. At the bottom by the nav ball, there's those little dots that count down, so when you start your burn, that's what this is. And in stock KSP, when you have staged, you haven't activated an engine, or you haven't fired an engine in a while, it'll give you one estimated burn, but it's not correct. But better burn time correctly calculates that burn time. Also to give you things like time till you exit atmosphere, time till you enter atmosphere, things like that. Really good. Capcom, I love that. That's how you look at missions when you're not in the mission control center. You can pull it up anywhere and look at your missions. That's great. Community category kit. So these couple of community here's are just stuff that have been created by the community. Like this one's by Rover Dude. Common parts for KSP mods. Resource pack, resources for KSP. So again, that goes back to the background resources, other resources. Community tech tree. That's how the tech tree is switched from the default tech tree, and it's all spread out and it gets more things. If you create a mod, you can slot it into the community tech tree somewhere, or you can even expand the community tech tree somewhere. Configurable containers. That must be for some other mod that I'm not sure what it is yet, but it lets you configure containers, it sounds like. Contract configurer. Oh, it's how you can create new contracts. Cool. Probably never do that. Contract pack, bases and stations. That's in there. That's something that I will get into once we get stations going. Contract parser. Support for the contracts. Contract reward modifier. Oh, yeah. I've seen Quill 18 use this when a mod or when a contract glitched and didn't complete. He went and you can allow yourself to complete it and reward yourself. Don't really want to touch that yet. Contract Windows Plus. It's a different way. It's by the same guy, D-Magic and Capcom. D-Magic, love his stuff. It's a different way to look at your missions. Capcom is bigger. Windows Plus, Contract Windows Plus is a little smaller and is a little more compact. Crowdsourced science. Oh, I love this. So this one is where when you do science and you get, like you land on Moon or Minmus, and it says, like, Minmus, not mint chocolate chip ice cream like we thought it was. It'll give you more and more and more and more besides just that. So even if you do the same experiment or a similar experiment or same experiment in a different biome, it'll give you different answers each time or different responses. So it's not just the same dry thing. It's kind of fun. Cryogenic engines, chemical engines, new engines. Cryogenic tanks, tank for tanks, I'm assuming, for the cryogenic engines. I mean, it's the same author. CTT stock rebalanced. Community tech tree that changes the position of some of the stock parts, just rebalances it. Custom barn kit. Career science. It just tweaks some of the parameters. Deployable engines plugin. Interesting. Manage extending and retracting engine nozzles. I think it must be a supplementary one to something else. Distant objects enhancement and its default config. That just lets planets pop a little more from a distance. That way you can see the moon a little better instead of it having being a fuzzy thing off in the distance. D-Magic Orbital Science. Love this guy. D-Magic. His stuff is great. I've got so many D-Magic things. But he's got new science. He's got the magnetometer. He's got, I don't even know, magnetometer, orbital telescope, solar particle collector, RPW radio particle waves, something like that. Great things. Great. It just fleshes out your science, lets you get more science, which is amazing. Docking port alignment indicator. So it gives you a square that shows you your rotation, and all these things helps you line up your docking so you can get it nice and square. Dynamic battery storage. Oh, okay, so it works on battery drainage and usage during high time warp. Electronic visual enhancements and the stock planets. Eve, another enhancement. It adds clouds. It adds lots of things. I think it'll add. I don't know if I've seen it yet. I know it used to add an aurora borealis on the northern and southern pole of Kerbin. I think on Duna as well. I think this also gives you dust storms on Duna, which is awesome. Fire splitter core or fire spitter core. This other things are dependent on this. I forget what they are, but other things need this to run. It's a background thing. Fuel tanks plus, longer fuel tanks, variety of styles. I think I got that one from Col 18. Ground construction core. Dependency. So it is a dependency of other mods. Interstellar fuel switch. So this is where you could have different fuels and switch them out. This allows that to happen. Kerbal alarm clock. We'll get into that later. Probably later. That's how you keep track of transfer windows when you have to do... Once you get launching past the moons and out to the other planets in the system, this is really useful because you can set alarms for yourself. And you'll know, hey, in 37 days, I have to do this maneuver so that this probe will line up to get to that planet. And it'll actually give you indicators for when transfer windows are coming up. Things like that. Lots of useful stuff. Kerbal alarm clock comes in very useful mid to late gameplay, at least for my gameplay. Kerbal atomics and other atomics. Nuclear engines for fun and profit, just like it says. Kerbal attachment system. Right, so this is a thing where you can use your Kerbins, little people. They can float out, like say you're on a ship that's been docked, a couple pieces together, dock. You can jump out, grab somehow through, I think, the Kerbal inventory system. You can grab a strut, connect it to one piece, go across, and connect another piece, and you've actually added a strut in space. So that's a good thing to have. I haven't actually played with that yet. I've seen, I think, Quill, maybe not Quill, but I've seen Scott Manley use it, so I intend to use it more. Inventory system, it's where you can have tools and other things in them. Or you can build a Duna from scratch. Now you can. That's cool. Kerbal joint reinforcement. This has been, the joints have been improved throughout development of the game, but this really makes things a little more solid instead of so weeble wobbly and rockets just falling apart. It's a little, I don't want to say cheaty, maybe a little cheaty. It's a way to solidify your rockets. They're a little more solid instead of falling apart like they do. Kerbo Cat's utilities. It's utilities using the KerboCats mods. I haven't really seen any. I think they're probably further down. Yeah. Construction. Weldable docking ports, cranes, magnets, and other construction equipment. I haven't used that yet, so that's cool. KSP AVC. Add-on visual checker. Okay. MechJeb. MechJeb 2. MechJeb. Love MechJeb. And, below it, MechJeb and Engineer for All. MechJeb is what you get that little drop down and the Delta V screen and the orbital screen. MechJeb gives you a lot of information and utility that is there in the game. I mean, the game obviously uses Delta V and meters per second and all these things, but it's not readily available to you to use. Like you can set a maneuver with a maneuver planner. It'll say, oh, this requires 437 Delta V, meters per second of Delta V. That's great. You don't necessarily know how much you have unless you calculate how much fuel you have, the output of your engine, and the weight, the mass. All that stuff has to be calculated, and it's kind of a pain, whereas MechJeb does it all for you. And there's tons of other utilities that come into play further on as you advance through the tech tree. MechJeb is amazing, and then MechJeb and Engineer for All just embeds MechJeb with every probe core or every command module. Typically, without it, you'd have to attach a little nubbin on the side that enables MechJeb. Module Manager. This is how all these things kind of come together and are happy, and they double checks them, make sure everything's happy, and they work. Nav ball docking alignment indicator CE2. So this is another one. So this docking alignment is different than that one. This one up here is actually going to be a separate square you open up that's a bigger thing, whereas this one shows a little red crosshair that allows you to line up on the nav ball. So that's a different way to utilize that, and it's great too. Near future. Wow, lots of near future. Near future construction, electrical core, extras, IVA props, launch vehicles, propulsion extras, solar core, and spacecraft. So these are all from Nertia? I don't know. But these are all near future things that are different looking near future things. Like things that are on the drawing board or that are in sci-fi or that are proposed for different possibilities for space travel. So there, I just added all of them because they looked cool. Or at least I thought they would be cool. We'll see. I haven't gotten there yet. Progress parser. Parse the progress tree for completion rewards. Don't know what that means. Raster prop monitor. For your IVA. I don't know what that is either. But I think they're dependent for something else. And then the core for that sets it up. Real chute parachute. That is the system that does the parachutes now. It's a little more, I think, accurate and gives you more options, whether single chute, triple chute, and you have to calculate the weight and stuff so that they know when to pop and how much to grab or not, I think. Re-entry particle effect. So I think, if this is what I'm thinking it is, I haven't really done it yet. This might be the one that I'm thinking. I've seen Scott Manley do it, and he's got a particle effect that goes behind the rocket instead of just kind of, or behind the re-entering object instead of just around the bottom heat shield of it. So I hope this is that. We'll see. ScanSat. ScanSat's cool. It'll come into play in a little bit. You can scan the planets to learn about, well, you can see where the biomes are. You can see where the anomalies are. You can see where things are. It's very useful because it gives you information. Like and it's science. You let it run and it orbits in a polar orbit at a certain height, and it maps the whole planet. It's really cool, but it lets you map every planet, Kerbin, Duna, Moon, Minmus, all of them, and it gives you information about what biome is where. That way you can kind of plan what goes where. SETI Contracts, that's what we're going through right now. That's what that probe-powered landing was, and then the probe parts that go along with that. And there was a... There it is. I meant before manned for SETI. But SETI, the scientific... Whatever. It's supposed to search for extraterrestrial intelligence. But it's in this, it's the... I forget what it is. But it's all these... it's this progression through the missions that is SETI, where it's man, and then of course manned before unmanned. But this just gets you more of a guideline for things. Stage recovery, that's what allows me to recover those like mount on side boosters. If you get far enough away and there's a parachute, it counts it as recovered because it floated down with the parachute. And that's nice because it gets you money back. Stock-alike parts expansion. Love this one big parts for space stations. It's great. It's awesome. It's what I always use to build space stations because it gives you more than just the stock couple of parts. It's beautiful. TAC life supports. Life support. We're going to add life support to, well, we've added life support. When we do a manned mission, it'll have life support to it. That's how I'm doing it. Self-destruct continued. Ooh. Take command continued. I think these are all... Oh, launch some external command seats. Ooh, that's scary. Toolbar. So this Blizzy's toolbar, that's, have you ever seen a little square that's up in the corner sometimes? I don't really use it. I could use it, but I don't. I think it's, a lot of these just want it there just to know that it could be used. I mean, there are some of these that I don't think show up on the sidebar. They would only show up in the toolbar. So far, I haven't used it yet. Trajectories. Love this one. I got this one, or I learned about this one through Scott Manley. It shows you, if you're in, a parabolic orbit, it doesn't show you just the blue line of I'm going up and I'm going down. This will show you, it goes, here's where you're going to enter the atmosphere, and here's where you're going to probably land because of the atmospheric resistance. It's great. Trigger AU flags, just some flags that expanded it. Universal storage. That's awesome. That's what the quad core piece, and a lot of the D-Magic Science pieces have universal storage pieces. That opens up a lot of cleaner ships as opposed to just slipping or snapping different experiments kind of willy-nilly, unsymmetrically to the outside of things. There's unmanned before manned. That goes back to the SETI. That way, otherwise with just SETI, it would let you do manned stuff first, but this one limits you. We have to do probes for almost everything first. USI, containers for universal storage, I think. Freight, again, for that stuff. Oh, USI colonization, that's right. All these kind of tie together. Colonization, so it lets you modules for long-term colonies, probiotics, hydroponics, there we go. Things like that are for colonization with a K. And that's tools for that as well. I think that's actually like drills and screwdrivers and things like that. And then waypoint manager, that's for rovers in flight, or you can create custom waypoints. Ugh. So there you have it. There's the 80 mods I'm using on this playthrough. Might add more if I find some that I like better that do different things. At this point, I think for gameplay wise, utility wise, this is all I really want. After that, what am I trying to think? Oh, any others that I might get might be more visual. Like if I can find the right re-entry one where it sparks behind instead of just in front, might add that. But again, as far as utility works and how things are going to work in the game, I think this is about it. So there you have it. There are all of the mods I run. Whew. That's it for this episode. Next one, we'll do the Minmus and Kerbal flyby. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you like it, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, pass the word. I will catch you later.